One, I mean, I believe it's critical. As I stated earlier, starting a business is simply hard work. And then once you think you're doing okay, you find out that there's so much you still don't know. So, I know the term ecosystem is becoming overused, sort of in the industry over the past several years, but it still applies. I mean, if you're going to start a business, there are a lot of external things that you need. I mean, we've talked about them today. The need for capital. So, just saying that you need capital, it doesn't make it any easier to actually find it. We're talking about everything from, we've been throwing out terms today like friends and family. Okay, well, how many friends and family do you all have that can, really give you what you need? 5, 10, 15 million forints. They simply don't have it, most friends and family, unless you have different friends and family than I do. So that's one aspect. Then what about the other route? People say, well, I don't have friends and family. I'd like to, maybe go down to the bank and get some debt financing. Well, who's been down to the bank recently and been able just to, get 2, 3, 4, 5 million forints for their little venture they want to put together? What are you using as collateral? What banker do you know that out there that is just easily going to give you that money? It's just not out there. Well, then you say, well, gosh, I don't have friends and family and I'm not going to go the bank debt route. Maybe I'll find some miraculous, angel investor out there. Who are these people? Is there a directory? Is there a website that they have all their names listed on? No. So it's hard to find them. So, I can continue on and talk about, how the first, and not first, one critical aspect of an ecosystem is building out a capital continuum, but also the network, right? Just trying to find people who can maybe give you some money or refer somebody who might have it. Or, we've talked a lot about mentors today. Well, so, your network is another, really important part of the ecosystem. A personal network, but also building out a network of service providers, the lawyers, the accountants, those that might potentially do some outsourced development on anything, either product development, IT development, software development. So one, I think having an ecosystem is critical. It's important for communities, universities to take a lead in building them out. Either if it's not going to be the government, the local government, then it's going to require citizens, economic development organizations, nonprofits, or universities to build it out. So,
thank you. You mentioned universities. Laszlo, you are working for the Technical University. Why do you think your services is needed?
First of all, so we are talking about supporting smart entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. But first of all, we need entrepreneurs to have or to being entrepreneur. We need this culture to create entrepreneurs. And so I'm coming from the university environment, and probably it's quite an early stage in that. But probably you mentioned friends and family, but probably this could be the very beginning of to be or would be or wanna be entrepreneur. And culture, to support and to create an ecosystem to supporting entrepreneurship. The most important is the culture, and I keep it repeating because I think it's very important. But first of all, if somebody comes to the university or just they are in the family environment, they used to say in Hungary that you need a good job. For a good job, you need good education, you need a diploma or any other certificate. And most of the students coming to the university is coming because they would like to have a good job, to be a good employee. And to change this culture is probably a good place in the university as well. and to create graduates or educate graduates being able to establish their employment and create others, which is a very, very good example, István's path, because he started a project during the BSc studies, and as I know you are in MSc, and Trezorit is already employing university students as well. So, and during education, and probably not only just in university, but already in high school as well, you can teach entrepreneurship, but I think it's not enough. We need practice, we need examples. It must be somehow close to the students, or close to the people who could be entrepreneurs in the future. And ecosystem, we are talking about, we are here now in Budapest. Budapest is quite a developed area in Hungary, but look at the other countryside and small cities, villages around us. It's quite a hard way to be an entrepreneur. So you can take this call and to try to join a venture or create a company, a startup. But what if you fail? So we are operating now in a culture which if it's not successful, you are probably not done, but you are a loser.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. No, this is the way of thinking.
Yeah, we have to teach to be entrepreneurs, that failure, as Kevin also mentioned in the morning, that it's just a learning lesson for standing up. István, you just was mentioned before, so and when you were in my class last semester, you mentioned something. Why do you believe that there is a need for any kind of support for to be entrepreneur? You were a good engineer, or you are a good engineer, you have an entrepreneurial spirit. Why do you need anything out of the business?
Well, I think the human race is not stuck in the rainforest because we can share our experience. And this is similar with entrepreneurship. You can do surgery by yourself, but it is better if you go to university and learn how to do that before. And I think this is similar to entrepreneurship. So you can do it by yourself. You can learn by doing, but there are several tricks and several experience you can follow. And there is a path before you, which was, you know, a huge knowledge in some people, and even if you have great ideas, you need that knowledge. And I think that's the reason we need to have a support and how to raise new entrepreneurs, how to teach them. It's a profession, and like in any other profession, you need to go to university or do some kind of study, and need to be supported by the community, like. If you go to engineering school, you learn how to be an engineer, act like an engineer, act like a nerd, like in my word. It is the same for entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. So you can learn.
Well, you need to have a talent.
There is a discussion whether can you learn entrepreneurship, or you're just born with it?
Well, I'm sure everybody heard about Van Gogh. He didn't go to expensive artist school. He learned by himself, and his early stage work really see that. So even if he's a great artist, we really see that that he was not trained, but he was a great talent. Imagine what happened if he went to a very great artist school and learning the painting on a professional way. I think the same can happen with a talented entrepreneur, with the support and with the community.
You mentioned in the class that you learned a lot during the investment period from investors, private investors, angels, and lawyers, but it paid you quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I could raise money, I think, in less time if I had any experience on that. So really, I think we need to share, entrepreneurs need to share experience, need to help each other, and we should find out the way of setting up universities. I have heard about universities, not business school, not economic school, it's entrepreneur school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is a growing trend. You know, just because you teach business does not mean that you're learning entrepreneurial skills. I mean, that's period. So it is becoming more common. You have a school of engineering, you have a school of business, you have a school of entrepreneurship, you have a school of humanities. And you know, the curriculum, the discipline, the outcome is really everything that, you know, Laszlo and Istvan are talking about. Right? This is where you can really begin to create this culture of entrepreneurship. And what does that mean? Well, it's instilling a certain mindset. It's leading with things like ideation and creativity. It is teaching courses on venture creation, and not venture capital, but which you might get the venture capital in a business school, but venture creation. It's teaching things like the market and opportunity assessment and doing technology assessments. So it's a whole different, you know, way of looking at things. And you know, when I went to university in the U.S., I went through business school, and I learned nothing about how to become an entrepreneur. So, you know, gosh, I mean, you know, I teach things now, and I talk to students now and young entrepreneurs just simply about cash flow. I mean, I could teach an entire semester's worth of or entire course just on cash flow, the cash flow dilemma. So, you know, these are the types of things that you know, we should be teaching to the young people coming through the university system now. I mean, the young people coming through the university system now, I mean, this is the future generation. Not just for Hungary, but for all of Europe and really the world. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I really commend, you know, just this large representation today of universities and, you know, really hosting this event.
Zsolt, you create a kitchen for boiling or cooking to be entrepreneurs. Why?
So basically,
did you establish, and why this kitchen is operating there?
Yeah, in 2007, well, kitchen was born. The idea behind it was that like young generation is not anymore just consuming media and playing with everyday technology, I mean, using everyday technology, but they are reinventing it. So they are totally a new generation, and basically that was the idea behind to create a lab, an innovation lab for mainly university students. So we started as more like a hackerspace. So after hours you can come in, you can play with everyday technology. And accidentally, Adam Shomley Fisher had an idea before. I think right now he's well known because of Prezi, and Prezi was born in behind the walls of Kitchen Budapest. So basically, the idea was great. So creating a space where people can get together with very diverse backgrounded people, and they can sit and try to use them knowledge to several problems. So basically, right now, how Kibu is, Kitchen Budapest is working today. We have two legs or fields of activities. One of them is a 20-people team called Innovation and Design, and the other leg of us is startup incubation. So we act as an incubator. Why we start to be an incubator is that Kevin has underlined that here in Hungary, 3F money, which is friends, family, and fools money, is not existing because, yeah, you could say that like, okay, because of the ecosystem, because of people don't have too much funds in the bank that they can give to the next generation. I mean, to them child to you know, just start your own company or start bringing your idea to life. So we thought that, okay, we incubated our ideas in-house, so let's open up this wall and then let people, let teams coming into us, and then with an idea. So we can give them space, mentorship, and of course, network. And what is, I think, unique, that we have 20 people in-house with a very diverse background. You can find programmers, designers, whatsoever. So if a team needs help, they can find it on site, which is, I think, really nice to have. That, like, can you imagine that, like, okay, a team of 4, you're starting to work together and you run into a problem and you don't have any network, you don't have any investors, you don't have anywhere to run, you just have a problem. And I guess István was lucky because in the university you were lots of people to get around you, and you have people to ask. But we are basically helping these teams to get started, to get the first steps, to be incubated by us, and to basically give them the space for 26 weeks. Of course, we gave them funding, but it's not the first priority. But gave them the space and the network and the help of these 20 very diverse backgrounded people on site to help them, and also well-known mentors as well.
No. Mike.
It's just saying, it's such a great story. It just really confirms the entrepreneurial culture that Laszlo was talking about a moment. You get these people together in this space and things begin to happen.
Okay, so there are courses at the universities, some of the universities which focusing on helping people to start their own venture and raising awareness around entrepreneurship. Just before giving the words to Gabor, I would like to ask you whether you can help, or anyone can help, to generate new ideas. So how generate the business opportunity, recognizing any kind of business opportunity, which is the initial part of starting a new venture. Is there anyone who can give some hints how to help people to generate new ideas?
Well, I mean, there's lots of ways. I mean, you know, we teach courses in our Center for Entrepreneurships that I'm involved in, both in the U.S. and at the University of Page. I mean, the name of the courses is ideation. I mean, I'm a business person. You know, I'm the least innovative person typically in any room. I mean, it's just not my background. I think more, you know, accounting, finance, marketing, and such. You know, in my experiences, you take 3, 4 business people in a room, they all want to be entrepreneurs, they all sit around the table and look at each other, and it's like, who's got the idea? Well, you know, they all want to be entrepreneurs, you know, they all want the Google offices and all those type things, but, you know, they don't know where to start. You put one engineer or one science person into the room and they bring a whole different dynamic. You know, so it's a you know, sort of similar to, you know, the kitchen. You know, it's the same thing. You put some business people in there, you put some engineers that, you know, think a certain way, the science people, maybe put a doctor, maybe even a lawyer, you know, and things happen. You know, so, but, you know, I mean, I could talk for a long time about, you know, specific structure of these courses, but one of the things I do is I simply have people go out into the street here in Budapest and start jotting down a list of 100 things that bug them. You know, it's going to be all certain things. It bugs me that people throw their cigarettes on the ground. It bugs me that this, bugs me that. Typically, though, if you can come up with a list of 100 things that's going to bug you, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 or 5 that actually could be taken to the level where you could do a little bit more research and try to figure out if there's really maybe a business model, you know, revenue model there. That's just one idea. I mean, but we have lots of tactics like that to really get people thinking.
Laszlo, you have Demola, which you might want to talk just
First of all, before Demola, we used to run some kind of competition collecting ideas. I think there's no problem with ideas. So there's lots of good ideas, but there's no knowledge behind them. And how could we support to have good ideas? I think so. I'm coming from a mainly technological university, and during the education, most of the students or graduates have a very deep knowledge on a certain kind of discipline or technology. But it's not typical that they also learn how these technologies are utilized on the market and which kind of models they are using to commercialize it. And there's a lots of idea, and it's good when this idea is embedded a kind of model, which could be very, very early stage, but it's not. They are not learning parallel the models, how these technologies are utilizing. And so we used to make a kind of a call for ideas to create businesses. Used to, so we did once and we are doing now the second run. And in the first trial, it was only 3 weeks for this tender or call for ideas, and we have 60 ideas. And it was in 2010, and now we have 5 companies already running from these ideas, and we are trying to accelerate and incubating the other ones. Actually, from the 60, there was 16, which was with quite a good potential on the market. And Demola. We have also a kitchen in BME. We don't call it kitchen, we call it innovation lab. It's quite 2/3 of this room, approximately. It's quite high as well. It was an old factory building in the middle of the campus. And we just get it to utilize it for innovation with not a certain kind of task, exactly what to do there. And off the record, actually, for the university, it's not a dedicated task to support innovation. So our main task is education and basic research, and no any question with utilization of the result of the research or the ideas.
That's one understanding of the role of a university.
And so we have a dedicated room for innovation, and so we were thinking about to create the center in the university where everybody can come there who is interested, do something, and do something with others, so some kind of co-creation. And this is another cultural question, because in the university, most of the people don't know each other. I mean, we have 8 faculties, and probably it's true in Middle East Europe as well. So there's no big networking, or we don't put knowledge together. There's no so much projects which is cross-discipline or multidiscipline with approach. And so we wanted to, and actually there is also an administrative question, so it's not quite easy to establish a project with different kind of faculties or different kind of competencies working together in universities. So we opened this room for mixed projects for students and researchers as well. And we wanted to create a center where it's good to go there just to drink a coffee, and you never know who to meet there. It could be an R&D officer from any multinational company, or representative of a venture capital, and or just to play there for students. And it's easy to say to create a center like this, but it's very difficult to create or to develop it. So we were looking for kind of good practices, and we just found Demola. It's coming from demo and lab, and established in 2008 in Finland, Tampere. So it's a Finnish way of entrepreneurship thinking or co-creation platform. And I won't talk too much. And
the company brings
so
the idea.
That's why in this
question.
Okay, in this model, we are waiting for concepts for project partners. It's not only companies. And for this concept, it could be related to technology, product, service, or any market segment, and it must be a kind of problem, an open question. And we publish it to the students, and students can applying that they are interested in to take part of a kind of project which is looking for solution for this problem. Together with the partner, we are creating groups or teams, and this team must be multidisciplinary. So not the people, the team members, not coming from only one competency. It must be a mix. It's like almost a company, so almost like a startup. And this team must write down a project plan, a solution plan, and if it's accepted by the company or the project partner, I'm saying project partner because this month we just starting a project which was initiated by one student from a university. So he has no friends and family who could finance the tryings, and he no any resources to give any funds to other students, but he has a good idea. He is looking for partners to improve it, and if it's successful, he could be able to give them shares, and in this way they can find the partners who he can work with. So if the project plan is accepted, we're contracting with the university, with the company, and contacted besides with the students. And in the contract, there is who is working on it, the team members, what is the content of the project, and there is a prize. After the project is closing, it could be 2, 3, 4, 6 months. The team is demonstrating the results, and the company can decide it, take it or leave it. If they like it, they can buy it on the price which is on the contract. I mean licensing the results, because the students creating intellectual assets. So we are licensing intellectual property, not property yet, but assets which is created by students' team. And if not, the company don't have to take it, but because we are in, we are state-owned university, there must be a registration fee each project partner as well. So this is a kind of practical way, and in this way students can work during their education or during their life in the university on real-life problems. They could have credits, and they could have quite a nice revenues as well.
All right, thank you. Gabor, you are a business angel, but also teaching at the Technical University, some venture capital or entrepreneurship course. Kevin mentioned that capital is one of the key elements of the ecosystem. How do you see, is it easy to invest for startups and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, the short answer is easy to invest, but difficult to make money. But first of all, good afternoon. I was not here in the morning, I'm sorry. So just before, I would answer your question. I, by education, chemical engineer, but used to work in private equity venture capital for 17 years as private equity fund manager and partner later. And right now I'm actually invited as business angel, but my activity is more like advisory activity. And I'm investing as a business angel, but on a very selective basis, I can tell you. I'm sorry to say that. Anyway. The question is, to find and probably answer the previous question, what is our role in this process from the idea to exit? I look at it myself actually as more like an advisor, even if the initial contact is to consider investment, because many times I work with an entrepreneur for 3-4 months, and they come, yes, we need 600,000 euro, which is definitely not the size I would consider myself. But after 3 months, actually, it turns out that they do not need more than 80,000 euro. And I'm just asking, what kind of ownership do you want if someone invests 600,000 euro? And of course, they say that of course, we want to maintain control, so we want to have more than 50%, let's say 51. And I'm asking, okay, so you consider your idea or your product worth 600,000 euro, because that's actually your valuation of your company. And this is the point they start to think. and just to locate myself in this process, that we work together actually to come up finally with this and be ready to talk to an investor. And finally, my work turns into advisory and fundraising process. So the answer is, I would say that it's not true that it's easy to invest. So I would say that it's very difficult to find entrepreneurs or people who have idea who is ready to, first of all, spend the money rationally, and the second is develop the business rationally and efficiently. And it's even more difficult, obviously, to come up with a company which, if you are talking about startup, actually to get ready to the second round of financing, or if it's a larger company, to get to the exit. So I would say that, based on my experience here, that although the statistics shows that Hungary, considering entrepreneurship in Europe, it's in the middle of the market. So it's, but personally, I experienced lots of entrepreneurial spirit, lots of initiative. But also, I think the problem, sorry, I destroyed the table. The problem is what we discussed here from several angles, that we have lots of engineers or other professionals who have the great idea, and there is some sort of imbalance here, because if they start to build a business, they must know their business very well, and they should have an idea, which is a good idea, but they also need to have some level of understanding how to build a business, and it's not fair. I used to be an engineer, and obviously, let's say the IT professional should know his or her profession perfectly. But also, they have to know how to develop business plan, how to develop financial plan, as we talked about, that how to, talk about cash flow. What kind of cash flow? You are talking operating cash flow or net cash flow, or how much established, how much money do you need? So all of this problem is,
okay.
So we have an engineer here, and in his speech he was talking about marketing. Did you ever learn about marketing?
No. That's my short answer.
But there's nothing wrong with it. But actually, that's actually the management of growth.
Okay, so what are the major obstacles? What are the major drawbacks in the ecosystem which cannot work properly for the time being? So what have you experienced? Is there everybody is working fine and well, and it's just the entrepreneurs cannot make business enough, or you have something to do about that as well? Okay, Zsolt.
First of all, since we started, we received more than 300 inquiries of ideas. And out of these 300, we invested into 5. So it may shows that what kind of ideas we are looking for. I mean, it could be because of us. First of all, we're looking for ideas that change the life at least 1 million people. So then, of course, if you're taking something which is good for the Hungarian market, this might not interest us. I mean, we talked about earlier here today that a startup must be global, I think, to be successful. And yeah, it needs to be changed in the mindset. So I think right now the biggest problem is the lack of education. Education on both sides, education on the entrepreneur side, and you guys from the university, you help a lot. I mean, and as Gabor told that, like he's helping out teams to get ready to be an entrepreneur, to get VC funds. But it's really not easy. That's why we decided to support them with these kind of questions at Kibut. That like they will have. I mean, marketing guys, design guys, whatever they need to help it on local level. However, what I think is we used to say that if you ask right now the young generation, thanks to this big success of, for example, István and Prezi and Logmin, here in Hungary you ask a large audience of young people who want to be an entrepreneur, who want to be a startupper, and lots of people put up their hands because they see, they're like, okay, this is something, maybe easy money for me, and that's it. And it's not easy, as István told you, and it's really not easy. I mean, and afterwards, if you ask this question, the second question must be that who really wants to climb the Himalaya? Then only two hands you will find in a big crowd. So that's the two you are looking for, because they are really passionate and really eager to do it. I mean, it's really not an easy way. István in his presentation told us that like he started in 2009. We are sitting here in 2013. It's like, I don't know, almost 5 years. Or 4 years, yeah. So, and the 4 years within his journey, he found lots of problems and lots of places where he can stop. But I think it's not an easy journey. However, I think if somebody really want to create an idea, that he has to change his whole mindset and his whole life. That okay, I'm really passionate about this. I really believe in my idea, and there is nothing to stop me. Of course, they need help, and it could be a word, it could be financial help, it could be educational help. So that's what I think right now. And also on the other side, so on VC side, here in Hungary, there are lots of Jeremy funds, which is, you know, they are venture capitalists. However, if I translate the Hungarian translation, it's kind of risk. There is the word of risk inside the name of what they are, the kockázati tőke, but they are not acting as a kockázati tőke, so they are not acting as a venture capitalist, and they are willing to take the whole equity of the company. I mean, you can find a finance partner for 75% of your company, then what left to the idea owner? So there are lots of problems, lack of education on both sides, I think, right now, but we are getting there. So I think it's a long way, it's a journey, but yeah.
Kevin, I see that you...
Yeah, I'll try to answer briefly. First of all, Janos, I mean, your question it's a big question. Yep. I mean, it's such a big question. So what I'd like to do for 2 minutes is to break out just one part of that. And
sure. Thank you.
And it's related to the university. There's university representation here today. We've all been talking about universities. Many of us teach as adjuncts, or we're professors, or we're, you know, trying to put together programming on universities. Entrepreneurship is not going away. Entrepreneurship is key to the future, key to the future of this country, of this generation, as I've said, that's coming through the university system. What I guess my challenge, and we've heard about, and I understand after having been working in universities, things are difficult. They are slow to move. There are challenges. But my challenge to this group, that for the third Entrepreneurship Summit, let's have a panel, and let's get 5, 6, 7 rectors up here. And let's have a panel of rectors. And we don't necessarily have to put them on the spot. There are rectors who are...
Watch the face for...
Yeah, that's fine. There are rectors who are a little bit more progressive than the others. Once you get a bunch of rectors together, they all like to sort of show one up and all that. You know, if we're going to make a real change in universities in this country, the leadership is going to have to come from the top down. It is going to have to come from the top down. You know, I advise universities all over the world in the creation of Center for Entrepreneurship, and those that don't want to deal from sort of the top down, I just say, call me when you're ready. But trying to build something up from the bottom is just going to take too long. Things need to get to the point where if we have empty space that's on campus, well, let's give it to a new lab. Let's give it to a new innovation lab. If we have 300 people that have applied to something and we can only take 5 because of limitation in space or a mentoring program, let's make that mentoring program bigger and let's ask for another 100 square meters.
No.
So,
what would make university rectors and university professors change their mindset and turn to the entrepreneurship?
Well, here's one thing. I assume, Laszlo, that you said the university takes a piece of these 5 businesses, these 5 ideas. You have an ownership component in them?
No, at all.
Not you personally, but the university?
No, university, not at all.
That's a problem.
That is a problem, right?
No, it's not
They
a
are
problem
not
for the
forced
company.
financially, although the resources are limited at the universities.
So I'll answer it from what needs to change. An equitable ownership piece, that is what works. When the universities I've been involved with, we take IP, we commercialize it, we keep an ownership piece. The entrepreneur goes away happy with their millions, and millions come back to the university. Again, that's hard work, but that's what needs to happen.
Okay, Lotzi?
So we don't have equity, and I think if I would be a smart entrepreneur, I didn't establish a company together with a state-owned university, because the university in that case representing the state, and everything, you are taking risks, you are not able to risk the equity of the state or the assets of the state. It's quite a difficult question in Hungary now, but we have other ways how university could be involved in a startup and getting royalty, and if the startup is successful, the university is successful as well. But and just
so there is no economic interest at the universities. So how do you feel?
We are, for example, with Trezorit, we have a license agreement. And if Trezorit is successful, it's going university going to be as successful as well.
So you will be proud. The university
we are still
be
proud.
Not economically sound, but proud. All right, István, how do you feel? Then Gábor. Okay.
I don't think we should change the academic life, because there is a coincidence that universities at least around universities, there are tons of ideas. I think we should build up a chain and support that chain. There is an innovation chain. First, idea. And after that, find out the way how can you commercialize and build up the company which will commercialize, and after that, run that company. And I think there is a lack of a big space, empty space between running the company, that's the business schools, and of ideas, that's the engineering schools. There is the huge empty space between that, and well, there is a great job doing by the university academic researchers. They do what they need to do, and for example, I couldn't make, for example, encryption or use encryption, strong encryption in Trezorit, unless some crazy mathematicians started to play with prime numbers and figure out how to encrypt data with asymmetric keys. So without that crazy ideas, we cannot go on with business. So I think we should fill in that empty space. And please raise your hand. Who have heard about the paging algorithm?
What?
Paging algorithm or page ranking algorithm? Google? Okay, at least Google. Okay. No, most of you haven't heard about the algorithm, but that was the idea of Google, providing the most relevant search results. But the biggest innovation wasn't that. The biggest innovation was the business model. Yeah. Selling advertisements during searching and selling relevant advertisement to the people. And that's changed the world. And not the paging algorithm was the one which changed the world. That was needed for running a business like Google. And after that, there was a huge need for several good ideas to run the business, an ongoing innovation. Google is the most innovative company, not because they still have the paging algorithm, because they are still innovating new stuff. Another thing is, have you heard about DigiCash? raise hands. It's also quoted like Digi crash, because the company crashed very well. We don't talk about crashing stories, but I think during entrepreneurship summits or during the running a course, we should talk about crashes. And Digi crash was, I think it's really worth to read the story. It was a very new idea how to make digital cash. Spending on just on the smart card, you have a cash and you can spend it somewhere else. You don't need to wire the money, and you know because wiring the money you can be tracked, and most people don't like that, and that's why most people still going by suitcase between countries. So there is a huge need, at least for several people, for the digital cash. And because of the huge demand, the idea owner, the CEO of DigiCash, was offered $100 million for the idea, and he said no. And he thought that he can run the business. Microsoft wanted the IP. After that, they cannot work out the business, and they crashed. So without a business model and without making a great business, I don't think any idea can succeed.
All right, Gabor, you wanted to mention something.
Just a very brief answer for your original question, but my advice would be for the young entrepreneurs, actually very simple, other than the business knowledge, that they should learn languages, especially in a small economy like Hungary, and think globally, especially in global industries. I have met so many entrepreneurs reinvented the wheel, and it takes a couple of months to convince that it's already done.
Yeah, absolutely. So final comments, I would encourage you to tell, to make a more effective supporting ecosystem for entrepreneurship here in Hungary, what would be your #1 suggestion? Zsolt.
Suggestions to whom? I mean...
Okay, that's another question. For whom? Kevin suggested for universities, but you can tell whatever, wherever you place your importance.
Since I like what we are doing, basically my suggestion is to open up hundreds of same institutions that we are doing. That helps a lot. I mean,
so more incubation, more incubators?
No, not just incubators. Like, okay, right now, I don't know how many of you are afraid of that, there is a program going on right now. It's called Gazella.
Hubs,
yeah, and
accelerators.
They will open up incubation houses, actually accredited incubation houses. However, we wasn't able to participate in the call because of the write-out is not good for us. So basically, it's a tricky question. That like we are existing here from 2007. There is a support coming from the government. I read the call, and then I decided we are not be able to participate in this one. So yeah, that could be a problem. But however, my suggestion is that have incubation houses where startups, where entrepreneurs can find help from even from low side, from marketing side, from wherever they need it. I mean, they need a lot of help, I think, and they could learn on universities, but it's learning by doing, I think. And István's way is like a good example that like, okay, let's start it up. They were a team of 4 or team of 3 when they were at the tech show. I met with them in 2010, I think. And then they were just there, like little kids showing a really good solution. And then look at now, they are a company hiring people, whatever, but they need lots of help on the way. So, yeah, for entrepreneurs, let's think. I mean, let's think seriously and think about it. Whether your idea it's good to start a company, or good to start a startup. It's totally different thing. And yeah, basically, these are my suggestions.
All right, thank you. István?
Well, I think as a general suggestion for everybody to become an entrepreneur, live like, why not?
What? Sorry.
Why not? Always ask, why not? Somebody asked me, could you join or do like this? And why not? I can do that. Or go out to London just for a meeting. Why not? Or stay out night and finish the work. Why not? If you have a good reason not doing something, then okay, you can say not.
So it's a kind of attitude change to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. Ask always, why not? Why not? And I'll try to, find good reasons why you're not doing something. I think most of the people will find out that there is no good reasons why not doing it. Just try it and do it. Okay, Gabor.
I'm not sure I have a good answer, but basically, I just would encourage all entrepreneurs, not only young ones, that just they should really work hard, try themselves. Don't be worried about failure. Just
try.
Just make it hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Laci?
And honest.
And honest. Yeah. Another business angels just mentioned that there were 2 prospect investee, and then he decided not to invest because honesty was missing. Okay, Laci?
My suggestion is, first of all, we need more. So we are talking about ecosystem. So there is more players there. I think we need more cooperation. University is probably the slowest organization ever on Earth. And but we are trying to change and trying to be more open and cooperate with external parties. And I think it's a very important suggestion that we should learn much more and work hard. Learn wise. I think there is much more would-be smart entrepreneur than what is existing now in Hungary. And we have to learn why, and we have to learn how can we support them and help them.
Thank you.
Yeah, all great comments. Maybe just, I don't think there's any reason to wait another year to have a summit. We can have Summit 2.5, 6 months from now. I think that's what it's going to take. If we're going to cooperate more, try to get dinosaurs to move, we need to move as entrepreneurs do, which is quick and fast. Second, I think this is more just sort of for us than entrepreneurs. I mean, if there's any driving themes, Laszlo, that you think are coming out of today, let's put together some smaller groups and figure out how we can move some of these things further so that we're not here a year from now just with 3 more, good panels, but we've made, this organization committee's made some good progress. So I think that would be the best thing that we could do to help entrepreneurs in the ecosystem.
Well,